Hello, and welcome to Superintendent's Corner. I'm Matthew Welton for BSTN, and joining me today is Superintendent Tim Saxton. Hello, and thank you for being here today.
As I always say, it's always a pleasure to be here at BSTN.
So let's begin with the Market Street closer and the redistricting. Can you give us an update on that?
Sure, I know that's near and dear to many parents' hearts, especially in grades kindergarten through fourth grade. But actually to a lot of our taxpayers. Right now, the big thing was how to redistrict Market Street. We're feeding into 3 different elementaries. We want to make sure it was equitable. We also want to make sure that it worked well within transportation. One of our goals was to reduce ridership time, but also we want to make sure that when we add students to each building, that there's balance and there's capacity. So we've been working on that hard for the last couple of weeks. We feel like we have some pretty good solid numbers. We've tested them with transportation. We've taken a look at title services to make sure they're balanced, and we've taken a look at teacher capacity. So we're pretty confident. In fact, one of our goals was to let parents know by the end of March, but we're confident enough that on conference night on March 14th, and kindergarten registration night, that when parents show up for kindergarten registration or open house, if they're in the Market Street district, that we'll be able to personally tell them where their child will be going next year. We feel that's important to tell the parents directly impacted personally, and then we'll launch that for public release immediately afterwards.
Well, it's always good to be ahead of schedule on stuff like this.
Right, and like I said, I know that's near and dear to especially the Market Street parents' hearts. So we've worked hard to make that a top priority, so we can get that information to them early, and then work on the different activities to prepare them to get ready for their new district or for their new building.
Okay, so what about the reconstruction and remodeling process? Where are we on that now?
Again, you talk about top priorities. Even more important, we know that we have to have classrooms ready for our incoming fourth graders. So on the operations and the maintenance and construction end, that's their top priority. And that has already begun. Our goal is, one, to get those done. We want to get those done. Again, aggressive goal is the end of June, so that we're moving during the summer months and teachers can get prepared and get their rooms ready. So we need to do what we can now, but we don't want to interrupt instruction. I don't want jackhammers and construction hammers interrupting kids' learning. So behind the scenes, most people don't even realize we're doing this, which is a compliment, is that we're prepping offices in our instructional media center here at Boardman High School, and our goal is to move our entire business and treasurer's offices over during spring break. That opens up their current offices so that construction can begin in those offices over at center, and those rooms can be converted. So there's a chance that we could knock off 40 to 50% of those classrooms even before school's out, with very little interruption to instruction.
That's amazing, actually, that you're already getting the classrooms going.
Right, like I said, the amazing part that people don't notice.
Yeah.
So that means that they're doing their job, they're getting it done, and not interrupting the functions of the school. Yeah.
So are there any questions that you're getting from parents at this point that you can maybe clear up about the process?
Obviously, what we talked about first is the Market Street parents. Okay, what elementary building am I going to? So we address that. Next would be, are there any changes to start and end times of school day because of transportation or because of realignment? The only thing that, again, this is a crawl, walk, run. We want to minimize the amount of change. We know this is a big change, so we don't want to add layers and layers. So we're trying to minimize the impact of the change. The only change will be the elementary school day will move forward 5 minutes. So school will start at 8 o'clock instead of 8:05, and then it will end 5 minutes earlier. So we're just moving that. That provides a little tweak to help that transportation change. That's probably, again, our goal is to reduce ridership time on those buses. For the parents that are not impacted, which would be our 5 through 8 parents, as we talked about in our community meeting, one of our goals is to eliminate shuttles, and we are doing that. So that will help them. So that will reduce, again, ridership time and get kids home a little bit earlier, and they'll spend less time on the bus.
That probably sounds a lot better for the kids, especially riding the bus. Because I remember in middle school when I was on the bus, that was like the worst time of the school day.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, it's a necessary part. We got to get kids to school.
Yeah.
We want to be efficient. We still want to service our community by trying to pick people up as best we can close to their door. So when you do that, you do add time. So there's pros and cons, but like I said, we want to get more efficient, reduce ridership time, and still offer some of the same services.
So is there any new information about the Market Street property?
Again, just that in the order, you have rooms got to be ready. Parents need to know where they're going. Personnel needs to be placed, and then once that's done, we're out. It will be the Market Street property disposal, sell. We are in conversation with Jason Lurie from the township because I know many, especially neighborhood community members by Market Street, are concerned. There are some flooding issues, and if that piece of property can help, yeah, we want what's best for Boardman. That's always been our goal. But we also want to do what's best for the Boardman schools. So we're trying to find a solution that works well for both. If we can help, if that property can be retasked to help solve water issues, we're all for it. If part of that property can be sold off, so there's a fiscal benefit to the school, we're all for that. So how can we maximize both of those? Those discussions are happening behind the scenes.
Always better to keep like what's better for yourself, I guess you can say, at heart, but along with the township. So it's good 50-50 split there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we as school officials are responsible for the operations of schools. Yeah. So, like I said, this whole process was to become more lean, more efficient. Yeah. So we got to make sure we follow that initial goal. The idea that we can also be a good steward to our community in helping alleviate issue, absolutely. You know, Boardman's always been about Boardman, and we want to be a part of that.
So switching gears a little bit, I know there was a bus driver job fair, and I heard there was a lot of people that came to it.
Yeah, it's just, I think it exceeded our expectations. Bus drivers and substitute bus drivers are a high need area. Yeah. We're looking for good quality people to come out and transport our students safely to school. We had about 45 individuals stop in and express interest. And obviously it's a numbers game, so we're hoping maybe we can get 10 to 15 good solid candidates from that group. So Ryan Dunn's our new transportation supervisor that we've talked about, and he's doing a fantastic job. So I want to give him credit for innovative idea, and also our current bus drivers. Many of them were part of that fantastic group of individuals, and someone out there who's interested will be joining a great team.
I guess you could say Ryan Dunn's hit the ground running for the process that he's getting.
Hit the ground driving?
Yeah. So next year's school calendar was approved by the school board this week. Anything parents might notice different on it?
Well, I think always when there's a school calendar, there's always a couple questions. The big three. When does it start, when does it end, and how long is Christmas break? Yeah. So we start on August 26th. We end on June 8th. June 7th is commencement. I know there's some junior parents out there that are already thinking about graduation gatherings. So Sunday, June 7th will be our commencement, and then the holiday break, the Christmas break, because of the way it falls when it's in the middle of the week, it's the longer break. Yeah. I'm sure there are many kids who are hearing this right now are smiling. So it'll be the full 2 weeks there. Some parents may be cringing because at the end of the 2 weeks, kids need to get back in class, but that's pretty traditional. It really mimics what we saw this year. The same type of weekends with President's Day weekend. Conferences are aligned very similarly. We start that week before Labor Day, go 4 days, have a Labor Day recess. So it's just moved 1 year forward compared to what we did this year.
Okay. So it's been a really successful winter sports season. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's happened with that?
Sure. I heard a report from Athletic Director Denise Gorski yesterday, and she's been involved with Boardman Athletics a long time. She thinks it's one of the most successful winter athletic seasons we've probably had in 20 years. Now, definitely you could say the boys, for sure, conference title, and I believe it's been about 19 years since they've won a conference title. So they're exciting to watch. I give a lot of credit to head coach Pat Birch and his staff. and our senior leaders on that team, about all the players. There's excitement in that gym when you come and watch boys basketball. Again, they've been successful, but they're also fun to watch. Their energy, the way they play, their camaraderie. They play a lot of kids. It's a real pleasure. And they got a high seed in districts, and they kick off district competition this Saturday at 7 o'clock. We're predicting that it might be near capacity crowd that we haven't had in a long time. So, but all our winter sports. So we say it's very successful winter sports. Bowling, even though a young team, had a very successful year. Swimming, perennial, year after year after year. Took about, I want to say about 10 kids to state. Many of them, although we didn't walk with a state championship, we had many kids get first team all-state honors. So,
that's really good.
Yeah, so that's yeah, absolutely.
That's an amazing honor for those kids.
And many of them are coming back. We had a couple seniors there, but we have many that they're still younger and coming back, some juniors there. Wrestling qualified 9 to districts. So that's one of the highest numbers that I can remember in years. Girls basketball, nice, good, solid season. I know they ended district competition probably a little bit earlier than they wanted to against Walsh a couple Saturdays ago, but had a good, exciting, good year. So all around, it's been exciting to watch Boardman athletics here in the winter.
Yeah.
It's still going.
It's the best season I can remember for winter sports that I've been in here for 4 years. So.
And I'll compliment our student body. It doesn't matter at what sport they've come out in force. I think I've seen the most students ever at a swim meet. That's exciting. And that's the way it should be. The kids come out and support each other. Win or lose, shouldn't take a winning season, but that's part of it. It's part of the high school experience, and I give credit to all our seniors for that leadership, because it usually starts with that class. But they've been so supportive. It's been fun to watch, and I think they're setting a tone for the classes coming up.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I believe so.
So recently at the high school we had our honors breakfast, and I heard that there was more students there than we had for a while. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, it's exciting to be part of that, and been part of it since I was high school principal. So I can't even count the years, but it's always a fun opportunity, because a lot of the administrators, board members come out and are able to serve. So I think it's a good example to our kids that are doing a very nice job academically, to see some of their leaders in a servant leadership position. So we get to serve. I was the 3 French toast stick person. I know Mr. Carlo was the 2 bacon person, and teacher Lisa Hughes from over West Boulevard was the single potato cake person on our line. But we had board members across the line doing the same. I think almost every seat was filled in our cafeteria, which is phenomenal. And then they had the head table with our first in class, and we had 24. And that may be one of the highest numbers that I can remember in many years. So compliment to our seniors, compliment to all our students. Just getting it done in the classroom. It's exciting.
Well, that is one of the 3 A's that we do here at Boardman, so it's good to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, it comes down to, it's the main A.
Yeah.
We're here to learn. So, but the 2 other A's are a big part of Boardman, the athletics and the arts, and they just, all 3 A's work together, and that's what makes Boardman special.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
Always, like I said, it's always a pleasure to be here. It's always exciting to be part of the what's happening here at BSTN.
We wanted to remind our viewers that if they have any questions about the district realignment, you can send them to questions@boardmanschools.org or check the website for updates. I'm Matthew Welton for BSTN. Have a great day.